Do you find that people only call you when they're getting something from you? Do you find that they talk crazy to you in front of your face, even behind your back? They don't feel like they have to give you respect in any way, shape, or form. You're their doormat. Today, we're going to show you how not to be. Let's talk about it.
I love Brotha T.
How you doing? This is Terry Wilson, aka your boy Brotha T, here with another one. So I like to thank you and welcome to the New Life Tree, where we like to give you little pine cones of wisdom for your motivation and mental health. If you don't know what that is, stick around, stay on the channel, you'll get it. I might not know everything, but I might know a lot of things. This is your boy, Terry Wilson. Today, we're going to talk about being a doormat. We're going to give you some ways that you can avoid being a person's doormat. A lot of people don't realize that they are doormats. There's a lot of men in marriages, big, strong men that are doormats. They don't realize it because of the way they see women, first of all, the way they see themselves. And they treat themselves, or they let themselves be treated like a doormat, and vice versa. There are women in marriages right now that are doormats, and they don't realize how they got into that position. I'm going to tell you, the average person is going to tell you just to leave, get out of there. What are you doing?
That was a mistake.
But I will tell you, if you do that without fixing the actual problem, then you're going to end up in another relationship that's going to be the same way. Maybe it might not be the same exact problem. Instead of physical abuse, maybe it'll be emotional abuse, but you're going to run to the same situations because you are the type of person that's going to draw the same type of energy to you because of the way you see yourself and because of the way you see the world. So we at T's Life Tree, we're going to give you some tools today to avoid being people's doormats. What's the first thing? The first thing, I want you to make people respect you more. Now, that's easier said than done. It's a little general. It's a little vague. But Yoda,
you must unlearn what you have learned.
One of the easiest ways to make people respect you more is saying no sometimes. You don't have to do everything for everybody. We're going to cover some of these things in some of the later things I'm going to have you do. But you make people respect you more by standing by what you said, right? So if you say no to something, just stand by it. Just say no. It's no. If it's not going to benefit you in any kind of way, or if it's something you really don't want to do, you don't have to do it. Now, it changes, like if you're talking about a child or something, that's a little different. But we're talking about other grown people trying to get you to do stuff for them just because they want you to get you to do stuff for them, you know, and they talk about you crazy. You don't have to be around them. Make them respect you. This is one way you can do it. What's the next thing you can do? The next thing you can do is just put yourself first. Now, once again, if we're talking about children, okay, you're going to put the children first all the time. We're talking adult to adult. Put yourself first. Now, there are times you're going to be nice. There are times you're going to do things for people. There are times that you're going to be free-hearted. But when you try to do everything for everybody else and you put yourself last, I would say that you're actually selfish. Now, that doesn't make sense to some of you because you were trained to believe that doing things for everybody else means that you're selfless and you're not selfish. I say that you absolutely are selfish because you're doing those things to make those people like you more. So that makes you selfish, and you're actually being selfish with yourself because you're keeping yourself from the love that you can give to yourself, if that makes sense. So if you're doing everything for everybody else, you are not selfless. You are selfish. Put yourself first sometimes. What's the next thing you can do? The next thing you can do is know for a fact that you cannot save the world. You cannot save the world. I know you want to make a difference in the world. I know you want people, when they talk about you, especially if you pass on, they're going to say, oh, they're such a great person. They did all this for me. They did all that for me. And they always were there. They always did this and that. Odds is they're not going to do that. The odds are after you pass on, they're going to say, oh, man, they passed on. They were a good person. Okay, let me find somebody else I can take advantage of. That's usually what those type of people do. Understand? Now, I'm not sitting here preaching and saying that don't do anything for anybody. What I'm saying is you can't save the world. You can't do everything for everybody else and expect to be a good person. You're not going to get into heaven quicker just because you put yourself on the line for everybody else and they didn't appreciate it, right? God is not going to look at you and say, come on. Like, I was going to make you wait, but since you got up at 3 a.m. and helped this person and get their car out of a ditch instead of just calling AAA, come up here a little quicker. Come on, bro. Now, what I'm saying, those are bad analogies, I know, but I think you get what I'm saying. You can't save the world out there. So you can be nice every now and then if you really want to pitch in and you really want to do something from the bottom of your heart. But understand that when you stretch yourself thin, you're actually taking away from the person and the people that matter the most, which are you and your immediate family, right? Your kids, your spouse, whatever. Sorry. So what's the next thing we could do? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to make a decision and stand by your work. Make a decision and stand by your work. I don't think you heard me. Somebody didn't hear me out there. I want you to make a decision and stand by your work. What do I mean by stand by your work? There was an author by the name of Neely Fuller Jr. He wrote a book by the name of The United Compensatory Code System Concept. I don't even know why I remember the name of that book like that. But he was actually, he wrote a lot of books on racism and how to deal with it and how a victim of racism can handle things in a world full of, inside of a system of white supremacy, basically. Even though that's off the subject, there was one portion of that book that stands out to me in every single aspect of my life. And it should stand out to you no matter who you are, right? I don't care what race, color, size, whatever you are. You can absolutely identify with that, right? Making a decision and standing by your work. What he means by standing by your work is whatever you do, own it. Own it. It was me. Yeah, I did that. That was me. Don't run away from it. Don't be wishy-washy. Don't make a decision. Come back on it. Well, how does this tie into being a doormat? Because people that are doormats always change their minds, especially when they think people are going to be upset with them, especially if they think they're going to lose love from the people that they think love them. If that makes sense. I said it kind of weird, but I hope it makes sense. Doormats constantly are trying to please everyone else. But if you are a person that makes a decision and stands by your work, you don't have to worry about being a doormat. Yeah, they might not like you, especially right away, especially if they were expecting to get something out of you and they can't get it. Yeah. In the short term, they're going to be very upset with you. They might talk about you. They might call you names. But in the long run, they will have to respect you in some kind of way. Just trust me. So let's go back to the list. Let me give you the things that you can do today to avoid being people's doormats. The first thing I want you to do, I want you to make people respect you more. One of the biggest one of the biggest ways I told you is just by saying no. Even the next thing I want you to do, I want you to put yourself first, because hey, you're the most important person in your world, especially, aside from the kids, right? The next thing I want you to do is know that you cannot save the world. And the very last thing I want you to do, I want you to make a decision and stand by your work. If you put all these things together and you do them all at the same time, I can't guarantee anything, especially on this channel. But I can tell you, if you do these things and stick by these things, you'll have a lot of people out there that have more respecting for you than treating you like a doormat. Almost guarantee it. This is your man, Terrion Wilson. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you haven't, take a look at the next one. You might like that one. This is your man. I'll catch you on the next one, family. Peace.